What is it like living your life right now after? It has to be a little interesting after Breaking Bad to be like wherever you go, people love the show so much that literally have you paid for a drink since the show wrapped?
I've paid for many drinks.
You have made a blunder.
Yeah, no, I've had a lot of drinks paid for me as well. But it was a great thing to be a part of. I feel.
Well, we know that. I don't want that. I want to know specifically what it's like with the free alcohol and
Oh, it's fantastic.
Like just running.
Come on, it's great. Free alcohol, free food. I get called bitch every day. Yeah, it's great. And, even we finished the show 3 years ago, and people now are just starting the show.
Yep.
So it's a constant, evolving sort of situation.
Have you reached the point now where you do not have to audition anymore?
Yeah, I haven't had an audition in a long time. The last audition I had was for The Revenant, and my God, I wanted that role so bad, but I didn't get it, obviously. But yeah, it's a different sort of level right now, which is great. But I still am fighting for projects, but I miss going into the rooms, and I kind of miss.
I was gonna be like, really?
Yeah, there's just this thing, you have that feeling going into those rooms that you still have that nervous energy going on. I don't know. Now you're just kind of sifting through different offers, and don't get me wrong. It's a nice problem to have. I'm a little spoiled, but yeah, it's great.
This project, 999, has the most ridiculous cast I've seen in a movie in a while.
Yeah.
It's like an all-star game in every role. When you got approached for the project, did they have this cast in place, and were you like, I need to do this?
Yeah, this script came to me out of nowhere, just like they do, and it was a direct offer, and I get a phone call, my entire team's on the phone, and I'm like, you always know, okay, that there's something happening. So a John Hillcoat offer just came in, and right there, John Hillcoat,
Sure.
sign me up, because I'm just such a huge fan of his. The Road, probably, he doesn't do a lot of movies, but the ones that he does is just going to be very special. So most of the cast was already in place, and I couldn't wait to read the script. I just was praying, hopefully this is a great character, and it was, and yeah, of course it was a no-brainer.
As I said, you got to the cast is ridiculous. Was there someone you had not worked with that really made it like, oh my God, I cannot wait to work with this person?
Oh man, everybody. You know what I mean? Really, everybody. I couldn't wait to meet Kate and Woody, and honestly everybody. But so it's hard to single out some of these actors, because I really look up to all of them. But I was very excited to share the screen with Cliffy and Clifton Collins Jr. and Norman, because I've known them for good 15 plus years. Right when I moved to LA, one of my first friends, and this is the first time we've shared the screen together. So they were the guys that I was really most excited about working with.
I can only imagine what it would have been like to go out for dinner with the big group. Did you guys actually go off set together, and was it just everyone's head on a swivel?
Yeah, it was pretty great. We were working almost every day, and we'd go and shoot pool or grab some drinks, and yeah, it's funny to walk around Atlanta and like, what the hell is going on over there, But I think Georgia, there's so many projects shooting there, so I think the locals are really kind of getting used to it. But yeah, we had a blast, man. It was just such a laugh.
Well, Norman obviously has spent a lot of time in Georgia.
Yeah.
Was there a place that he recommended and you can pass on to everyone now that you need to go to?
Yeah, we actually shot there. What was it called? It was this famous old school strip club. But it's great. I mean, from police officers to lawyers. I mean, it's across the board.
It's the in and out of strip clubs.
It's the in and out of strip clubs. I forget what it was called. It's one of the oldest, just iconic staples of Georgia. But it's great. It's hilarious. It's just really a great bar. And then strippers are in the background.
Of course.
Yeah.
Is there a day or two you will always remember from filming?
Yeah, I think this whole shoot was great, but the heist was, I think, the highlight for me on this project. I mean, it took I don't even know, maybe a little over a week to do the whole thing with the heist and the car chase and the pulling up, getting out of the van with the masks on, guns in hand, running into a bank. I mean, it was great. Robbing a bank was a fun time. And then running out, driving away in our getaway vehicle, dye bag explodes. Yeah, it's fantastic. It was great.
Yeah, that's literally little kid make believe all come true.
Man, it was we all played cops and robbers as kids, and this was just the biggest form of cops and robbers, and who wouldn't want to do that?
You worked with a lot of great directors. What is it about John that seems to draw all these amazing actors to be a part of his projects?
I think everyone's drawn to stories with conflict, not the cookie cutter sort of stories. I'm not drawn to the romantic comedies. I'm just not. And a John Hillcoat film is going to be a hard-hitting, intense drama that is just very real and very just human. And so I think that's what it is. I mean, John just tells an honest story that just happens to be very dark and intense.
I have to ask, I want to switch to another thing right now.
Yeah.
You got to work with Kevin Hart, Dwayne Johnson, Central Intelligence.
Yeah.
Kevin is just a monster, and in terms of humor and I've heard from everyone ruins tons of takes from laughing.
Yeah.
And Dwayne is like as big as it is right now. And so, what the hell was it like collaborating with the two of them?
That was so out of my wheelhouse, and that another movie that came out of nowhere. And I'm not really drawn to comedies, but I read this script and I was laughing so hard from page one. And my role is not a big role at all. It's just a small little cameo. But I get to play DJ's CIA partner. And it was just so ridiculous. And doing that with those guys made me realize, my God, maybe I don't need to always play the dark, intense guy in these films. Because I had, one of the greatest times I've ever had on a set, on that set. And, Dwayne Johnson, he is a national treasure. He really is. I mean, everyone, I'm sure you've spoken with him, have you?
Yeah, he's the nicest guy.
He's just the nicest guy in the world, and he deserves everything that's coming to him. And Kevin is hilarious, and he's just such a fighter, and it was great, man. It was a blast.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why certain people in Hollywood can ride out maybe bumps in their career is because, look, it's a very small community, and if you're difficult to work with, people know.
Yeah,
it's just true. And if you're easygoing and you're easy to work with, and you treat it like the job, then
yeah.
I mean, maybe this is just from my perspective.
No, it's true though. I mean, there are some of those famous assholes that continue to get the jobs, and I go to set. I feel so blessed to be able to have a job in this business, be able to live out my dream, and I don't take it for granted. And Dwayne is just such a he just really represents that so well. It's just so obvious that he does not take this for granted. He feels so blessed, and he's so thankful every day, and he shares that with everybody, and we all appreciate it.
I believe you have a new series coming out called The Path.
Yes.
So you should pimp it out. What can you tease people about it?
All right. The Path is a story that centers around a family in the middle of a new, somewhat new, controversial religious movement that's being followed by the FBI. And I play a character in that family, a father and a husband, who in the pilot episode just comes back from a retreat not buying it whatsoever anymore. Comes back from an ayahuasca retreat and his eyes just kind of open and he's like, what are we selling? What is this? But he has to keep it to himself because he knows if he says anything about his doubt, his whole family will turn their backs on him. And so he's conflicted. So that's kind of the premise of the show.
We should mention what network it's on.
It's on Hulu. It premieres March 30th, and it is if you love, heavy, intense dramas, this is definitely that. It's a beautiful show.
Well, one of the things is this is not like a 22 episode show. It's a more finite number.
Yeah.
Was that one of the things that drew you into doing another show?
Yeah. I wasn't really looking to doing another TV show at this point in time. I had a great ride with Breaking Bad. I was, it was an embarrassment of riches with that. And so I just wanted to take a bit of time away from TV, focus on film a little bit. But yeah, I thought it was great. 10 episodes for Hulu. It takes about 5 months out of your year, and then you have a good 7 months left to do whatever else you want to do. A lot of series, it's like 22 or 24 episodes, and it's 10 months out of the year, and the other 2 months you just want to sleep.
Sure.
So this was it was a perfect thing for my schedule.
One of the things that surprised me, switching to another film, one of the things that surprised me was hearing that China wanted to make a Need for Speed sequel. I guess it did really well over there, or in Asia. Are you somehow involved in that? Have you heard about this? I
have heard about it, and it was a monster success. It came out, it opened #1 in China. It was like $40 million or $45 million opening. It was a huge success. It didn't really perform all that well in the States, but worldwide it did all right. I heard about that, but that's all I've heard. It's just I heard that was happening.
Sure.
And so I don't know if it's still happening. I haven't read a script. I know they, once the script. I just talked to somebody about it this last week at the Super Bowl. Once the script's done, they said that they're going to send it to me. But if the script's there, I'll entertain the idea. I had a blast doing that movie. I love cars.
I saw you I was on the set of this movie, and I watched you guys work, and you all seemed like you were having a blast.
Oh, we had the greatest time. So it was definitely a big disappointment that it didn't perform as well as we had hoped in the States, but it was a monster success in China. And, so we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Well, the thing that a lot of people don't realize is China is going to overtake the United States in terms of box office.
Yeah.
Like this year or next. So they are Wanda just bought Legendary or is trying to buy Legendary.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge thing that I don't think a lot of people realize.
No, it is a massive thing.
Yeah.
I think everyone in the industry realizes it, but
well, that's why I'm trying to explain it to people watching.
Right.
It's like China is a huge factor in financing now and consideration of what movies are going to be made.
Yeah, it's a big world we live in. It's not just a lot of people that are in the States think, oh, we're in the States, but it is a massive world we live in, and China is a huge force, and so, but it's exciting for the industry. More people are seeing movies all around the world.
My last thing for you, because I got to go. Obviously, we're at the beginning of 2016. Have you figured out what you want to do this year? Are you attached to a bunch of things? What's your story?
Yeah, I have a bunch of movies coming out all at once. So the next couple of months is really just promoting those films. And I'm jumping onto a little passion project at the beginning of April. I've been trying to put this together for the past 2 years. I'm actually teaming up with my Breaking Bad producers to do this film called The Parts You Lose. So hopefully we'll start shooting that in Eastern Canada in April, and then fingers crossed we'll start shooting the second season of the show probably sometime in June.
Actually, I do have to ask you one last thing.
Yeah.
How amazing is Better Call Saul?
Oh my God.
But I just want to say that if you had told me, like, I thought it could be good,
Yeah.
but it's another level.
Well, it's shit. It's so brilliant, and I think a lot of people were expecting it to be kind of like Breaking Bad, but it's not. It's a whole different animal, and you know that's just Vince. You know, Vince and Peter and all of those brilliant writers. I mean, it all starts on the page, and they're very smart. They know what they're doing. I pray to God I am in that show at one point.
I've no doubt. Vince told me that the idea was, let it get on its feet and become its own thing.
Yeah.
And then I've always of the opinion that the greatest thing that could be is just you walking by in the background of an episode for people that realize who it is, but it's not a thing.
It's not a thing.
And the same
I
thing.
would love that.
The same thing with Bryan Cranston. He's just walking by a scene.
Yeah.
But it's just.
Yeah.
And.
I mean, I would love to have some lines. I'm down to do that in one episode, and then maybe 4 episodes later, maybe some lines.
Right.
Yeah, some dialogue. It would be fun to act off of those group of characters.
I would love to see that happen as a huge fan. I would love to see that happen, but I also would love to see it in like season 3.
Yeah.
When it's, or even later in season 2. But once it's it's its own thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. I mean, I think it'd be great to, and I don't want anyone to see it coming.
Exactly.
It needs to kind of be out of nowhere, and
you need to drive to New Mexico and not take a plane because people will know.
People will know. People will know.
They do. They tweet about it like, we just saw Aaron at the hotel. Mm-hmm. Is he here to film?
Yeah.
Just saying. On that note, listen, congratulations on everything. Super happy to see you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving me your time.
Yeah.